Well, good morning, Cole.
Good morning,
We're
Richard.
live. Another day, another Saturday morning here at the Multi-Gen Blueprint, talking about all things multi-generational living and all aspects of it, really. So glad to be here for the third time with you guys. And today we're going to be talking about what makes sorry, I lost my show notes here.
Unbelievable. We're 2 minutes in, Richard.
Saturday morning. I'm like you on vacation mode here.
Do you have the coffee at least?
No, dude, I'm a water guy.
Where's your water then?
Right here, bro.
Well, my buddy's got an emotional support water bottle. Maybe I'll get that for you.
What does he name it?
I don't know what he names it. I think it's just ESWB.
Too much fun. Oh, make sure you hit go live on your Instagram too.
I did. We're locked.
Dude, you're ahead of me. I don't even know where I am right now.
Might be vacation mode, but we got to be locked in for an hour.
I know.
Okay,
let me rearrange my screen here.
Okay, I'll take over a little bit while you're getting yourself situated. So again, like Richard said, episode 3 of the Multi-Gen Blueprint. Cole Marton, Richard Ensing, both with Real Broker. Yes, we are both real estate agents and also a host of other hats for all things multi-gen living. As I take another sip of my coffee to get fueled up and ready to go. So again, this is episode 3. If you missed last week, it was a lot of zoning talk. It was a lot of talk about where you might find certain things in the bylaw, what zoning you want, what is allowed. And so that was kind of the behind the scenes of properties. And so now today we wanted to get practical into what kind of properties actually work for multi-gen. So we talked about the basics in episode 1, and we're going to touch on them a little bit more today. And then we're probably going to do just a lot of looking at properties today. Might touch a little bit on permits, depending on how we're feeling. But we did talk a lot about zoning stuff last week, so I think we want to keep it to the practical side. I think that permits and zoning is boring for a lot of people.
Don't want to bore you to death here.
Yeah, we're trying to be entertaining too. But that's kind of where we're rolling, kind of what we're thinking. I guess before we really dive into that, Richard, is there anything fun going on over the last week there for you?
What have I been doing that's fun? Well, yesterday, we're talking like non-real estate stuff. You ever been to Cascade Falls in the back of Mission?
I've not been to Cascade Falls.
Anyways, there's a spot up Stave Lake Road, and there's the waterfall that you have there. But then if you hike about a half a kilometer to a kilometer up the riverbed, so a bunch of bouldering, there's this natural water slide that's like over a rock. And so it's pretty sweet. A little bit of a cliff jump there into this big pool of water. It's super cold, but refreshing because it was like muggy and 33 degrees yesterday. So that was yeah. So if anybody wants to know where that is, I will let them know because it's a hoot. It's
the hidden gems.
The hidden gems in the back of Mission, man. There's some out there. Local people know it. So, how about yourself there, Cole?
Well, so my wife and I have taken our little one up to Kelowna for a little getaway. We're coming back tomorrow. Probably tomorrow morning we're gonna rip off because the drive up was a bit of a nightmare. We thought it would be a good idea to take him right after his nap to kind of keep him away from getting too tired and falling asleep in the car. And all we did was anger him because he just wanted to move around and he was stuck in a car seat for 3.5, 4 hours. So not the best plan that we've ever come up with in our first year plus of parenting, but it's been awesome since we've got here. I've got family up here in the surrounding areas, so it's been really great to visit with them. And we're taking him out to the kangaroo farm. It's going to be our plan today.
Let's go.
Because he loves animals, and so we're excited to see how he responds to all the animals that he can go ahead and like touch and pet. So we'll see how that goes for him. But we're pretty excited. So yeah, it's been good. And then working on the show and working on my real estate stuff in the background as you do every day. It never stops. So we're doing this in the last weekend of August on Labor Day weekend, and we're ready to go. We're ready to just roll right into it and hit the ground running. Car has been started. Things are they're going in the right direction. So,
well, let's just dive right in though. And I don't know, when you think of multi-generational properties, there's usually a couple types of properties that come to mind.
Yeah.
Right. And some people don't even know of the possibilities that are out there. And so, like Cole had mentioned this morning here, and I did a little bit as well, is that we're going to basically on a bird's eye view, just like look at the properties that are available to people who want to do multi-generational living, who want to see what's possible out there. And I just want to shout out to Chris here on my Instagram. Nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well down in, I think, California you are right now. So Cole, he's a realtor here, local in the Vancouver area.
Nice.
Just so that you know. But back to the list here. So there's a couple different properties that always come to mind. The simplest one is houses with suites. So a single family house, whether it was designed to have a suite or not, it seems like lately a lot of them are just BC boxes getting transformed into a suite downstairs, which is fine. Like it works, and you can definitely go that route. The other one, which I'm a huge fan of because obviously I have a property like this, is a house with a laneway access, or just like a garden suite or some sort of coach home.
Yeah.
Right. It's basically a secondary dwelling on the property. It's typically quite a bit smaller than the house just because of zoning bylaws. They don't allow you to just put another full-on house on the property. So that's fun. And then you have like the duplexes, the side-by-side houses. Those have, been around for quite some time. And there's lots of fun things you can do with those ones. And then more recently in the last 2 years, but more like really just as of now as we're talking, the future of, fourplex, potentially sixplex potentials, where you're going to be able to take single family lots and turn them into fourplexes, where a scenario may be your older parents or you as the parents sell your property, invest in one of these, fourplexes. So you have your grandma or your grandparents in the bottom suite. You have, you upstairs, or there's a multitude of assortments. Basically, if you can dream it, you can probably build the thing. Obviously, it's just going to come down to cost. So that's an exciting thing that's happening right now. And I know you, Cole, are living that with just who your connections are, who you're talking with on basically a weekly basis. And so, any words of you want to add there before we dive into each of these things there, Cole?
Yeah, well, I want to you touched on, duplexes being around for a while. You also touched on not being allowed to put a second full-size house. And up until about 2 years ago, that was going to be really difficult. And now in certain municipalities, right, or cities, we'll call them cities, even if they're towns, but it is easier to do that. And some cities will allow you to put full-size houses on the same lot. By full size, I'm kind of talking about 1,600.
Not a 3,000.
I'm talking missing middle houses. In that sense, what I would still call a full-size house, but it's not like a townhome, or it's not an attached townhome. Kind of think of it like a detached townhome almost would be a good way to kind of go about it. But Then we saw that in one of the YouTube videos that you showed, right?
Oh, it's amazing what they're doing.
And fourplexes, some cities will only allow attached, some will allow detached. So again, depending on where you want to be, what city you want to be in, garden suites, coach houses, laneways, you're going to still see those. I foresee those being a little bit more popular. Frankly, I think people still want to have the detached house.
Oh, definitely.
They don't want to go to these fourplexes and these sixplexes, and that's totally fine. And but being able to put a garden suite or a laneway house or another home, right, a mid-sized home, if it fits, I see a lot of value in that. It also makes it easier for developers too to do townhouse projects.
Just mini townhouse projects.
Yeah, because you probably aren't going to need to just completely rezone, right? If you get 3 properties side by side, you can do 12 townhomes, right? Basically, in the zoning that you're in, you can probably do.
Would you be able to attach them?
Well, you'd have to, right? You probably could.
Because
they would have to work
with
the city. Yeah, that's kind of the big thing there is you could do, or you could do like 3 separate 4 townhomes, right? Call it the same complex. Join the property together and just have a road that kind of goes in for parking. Like you could look at doing that too.
And that's kind of the fun part, just like how creative you can be. Now, obviously, you got to follow the guidelines and the rules and regulations of each city.
You want to be so creative.
But it's it's kind of a story here. I know you talked to the planning department of Abbotsford, or planning department of anything, but I had a client that was we're in the process of putting an offer on a property, and across the street, it's a house that's got a development sign on it, and the classic, well, what's going on there, right? And so you call the city, they don't answer, you leave a message, and you just hope they get back to you. But then you can look at the application form, you can call the number on the form there who submitted it. So I ended up talking to this gentleman, John. I can't remember exactly who he represents, but yeah, he says like a lot of people right now, because the property across the street is basically going to be 4 individual lots. They're going to put 4 lots there. Yeah. Because it's big enough. And he's like, it's interesting because right now, like I think he said he had like 300 like applications out right now all across the Lower Mainland.
Yeah.
And he says like a lot of people are holding off because that, instead of having 4 lots and building, 4 individual houses, he's like, well, you could almost have like, not like 16 houses, but like you could have substantial amount of more because of he called it the SHMU. The SMUA. The SHMUA, the small scale multi-unit housing initiative. And so a lot of developers are just like kind of waiting. They're not going ahead with their initial plan of like maybe a 4 lot or whatever the property can hold, lot subdivision, or just put lots in. They're waiting to see what'll be allowed, and then obviously they're gonna, as a developer or investor, they're just gonna use the best, they call it the latent value, or the value of like
hidden value. Yeah, you were right, latent value, Richard.
That's gonna bring
us working on a Saturday.
I know that's gonna bring the most amount of money for that property, and so it's gonna be interesting here to see this fourplex and how it unravels, and not in a bad way, but just what they're gonna do. Because right now he was even saying like Abbotsford's just terrible, and I know you've said that a few times, and shots fired to Abbotsford, the planning department. But
well, I'll give them a break in a little bit here. I'll give them a little breather. They were pretty bad, but it sounds like they're making some pretty good moves here. We talked about Abbotsford 2050. If that gets through, if they make that change in early 2026, at least from what I've read from the policy, the new one that's proposed, that'll help substantially for everybody, for developers, for residents, for renters. Like that's the changes that they needed to make, and they would be more in line with the small scale stuff. Like Abbotsford made initial changes to comply, and now they're making wholesale changes to comply further, but to actually get things to where they need to be. They're not the only city, too. You know, I'll throw that out there. They're not the only city that did the initial changes to comply. They're not great, and now they're doing more changes to make it even better. Like, it's a really interesting time. Mm-hmm. It's really been fun to follow. I know people are going to probably think that I'm just super boring and a nerd, and I am super boring and a nerd. But it is, you know, if you're interested in kind of figuring out, like, okay, like I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. If you follow along with the stuff, like with the SMUA and the cities, there's a lot going on, and developers and people like John are probably just starting to see it, right? Mm-hmm. Because, like we've said, people, they're going to start to wake up to it, but they're still not going to know what they can do. Right? They're not going to ask. They're not going to know what questions to ask. I think that's where we want to come and be able to help these people, right? I know that this was a big thing for you, Richard. I know that it's a big thing for me. Being able to ask the right questions to help these people is something that I look forward to doing here. So we will continue to research and look ahead. But, you know, great side story, because it is something that is super on the rise. And you know, now that's a great case study of we're starting to see it. People are starting to be like, oh, wait, you know, gone are the days where I have to subdivide my property into 4 to just put 4 homes on it. Like, those days are done, unless you have like a massive acreage and you need to shrink the property in order to make it comply, or in a remote area. Like, if you're in an urban area and you're not trying to build 4 monster homes, because, you know, that's a different story. Yeah. Gone are the days where you have to subdivide or rezone. Honest. Like, you know, and verify that information with the city for anybody watching and wanting to check. You have to verify with your city. But, you know, if I'm wrong, come back and tell me that I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong for about 80% of properties in the urban areas. Like, yeah, you're going to be surprised what they will allow nowadays.
Just got to ask the questions.
You just got to ask the right questions and go in with a plan. It's always good to go in with a plan. Figure out, like, okay, I want to do this X, Y, and Z. Am I on base or am I full of it? And most of the time they'll help you, and you'll be good to go.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's dive into some of these properties. You want me just to wing this one, or do you got any properties in mind that you want to start off with? Or
I have one. I was going to let you start it.
Yeah, I'll start it.
Hold on. You've got one that you want to look at, I've got one.
I got nothing. I'm just going to wing it and see what comes up.
We're very prepared.
Share my screen.
We're very prepared.
All right, let's load it up here. Shameless plug. This is my website. If you want to have searches tailored to the things that we're about to talk about and see, check it out here. But anyways, we have a quick search. So the biggest one is just going to be houses with suites, right? We talked, there was 4 houses with suites, houses with a laneway, coach house, garden suite, duplexes, or multiplex stuff. And we'll probably do it in that order, I assume. Cole, jump in whenever you want. But
yeah,
this is just literally a search custom for properties with 2 kitchens. And because a lot of times, like, and this is getting more into the weeds, but on the back end, a lot of these properties, they're not legal. So you filter for legal suites, and like you're going to get like 25% of the actual houses out there that are houses with suites. And so what we do here is we just filter for 2 kitchens. And now sometimes they're not going to be always perfect, and we realize that. But we just filter for newest listings. And so, you know, let's just, like, this one here, this is probably a good one. I think I don't know. Is it bad when you've looked at so many houses, these all just start looking the same?
I haven't got to that point. I'm still new.
I'm like, I think I've seen this house online somewhere.
My eyes are fresh for right now.
Like,
we'll see.
You know,
See how long that lasts.
here's a property in Chilliwack, right?
Shout out Chilliwack, great place.
Dude, it's amazing. That's where, back to that story I had there, John was like, go build in Chilliwack or Maple Ridge. He's like, they're on the move right now.
Chilliwack I thought was interesting. That's a side story. We'll let you look at this house, but that is a side story too, because I talked to Chilliwack as well.
And what I like to do is like, here, I'm just loading up another website here on my other screen here.
Yeah.
And because like the pictures are nice. Like we can all agree that this house is nice looking.
Yeah.
Right. But what I always care about, let's see if they have it. Oh, they do. Okay, perfect. It's a floor plan. I always love a good floor plan. And so let's just see what they got going on here and see what kind of person this would be the best for. And so here we go. Storage, patio, family room, kitchen. So this is going to be downstairs. Looks like floor 1, floor 2, floor 3. So this is the main floor. And yeah, we got a one bedroom suite, fully by itself. This must be a washer and dryer there. The kitchen. And then upstairs, we have basically a whole family. And so, yeah, like you could, I guess, wonder, like, is this going to be, I'm just curious, because like I was just thinking what kind of family could be in this house. And no, we're not going to sign up right now. I know my own website forces me to sign up. It probably will here in like the next little bit. It wants my information. And so anyways, this property here, it's basically for an entire family upstairs. This could be, your grandparents if they don't mind the stairs, because that's what I was looking for. Is like, is the suite so that you can see in the back here, the stairs go down.
It's harder for grandparents, right? It'll depend on their mobility. What I would almost say is like, this is a good one for if we're talking not rentals, right? We're specifically talking for multi-gen.
Yeah.
And I'll include friends in that. You know, some people like to say that family isn't your blood, it's who you choose. So we'll, keep all spectrum open. This would be a good one for people who want to help their friends or for parents who have adult children that have mobility.
Yep.
Right? If you're living in this house, your kids want to move out, you could put them in the basement suite, right? And then you can allow them, don't buy their groceries, don't help them with their chores, let them figure it out. I personally wouldn't charge rent for the sake of rent. I probably would, if I was going to do anything, it would be charging the kids quote unquote rent, and all of that rent goes into some sort of account for them, so they're forced to save, and then they have to make the payments every month. If they don't make the payments, then move them back or something along those lines. But with that, I think that's what I would do for this one a little bit more. Now the house is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous looking house. I know Evans a little bit. That it's a great area. So it checks a lot of boxes for people who want to move to Chilliwack, which again, Chilliwack's doing some pretty awesome things out there. There's a full credit to Chilliwack. And I used to work out there as well. So a little bit of a shout out. I do think it's a great area. I really do. I think it's gonna be a pretty large hub. I don't know if people really understand how big Chilliwack is gonna be.
It's like old Chilliwack, and then
it's growing. It's growing really fast. But I would say that I probably not for grandparents unless they had decent mobility, or for, let's say, people my age, for their parents unless they had good mobility. I do worry a little bit about the stairs. you can't see the stairs.
Well,
great.
I think
But
the other
that's
thing
my
too.
only concern, right?
Yeah, and I know a lot of times when I'm dealing with families that are trying to do something like this, it's the stairs is number one, and then number two, it's like, which kind of, if you don't have stairs, it means it's above ground, is the lighting, right? Like they want it to be bright. They don't want to feel like they're like stuck in a hole, you know.
Yeah.
And so maybe let's just spend 2 extra seconds here and seeing if there's a property that has. Okay, we're just gonna sign in here. Hold on. Oh no.
What did you do?
We're just gonna wing it for a sec here. It's probably gonna kick me out here. So let's just see this one here. Floor plan. So this isn't. Just look at the back of the house.
Wow, 543. Is that in Maple Ridge? Oh, I love Maple Ridge.
Yeah, so here's the back of the house. So it is open.
Yeah.
Which is better. But again, you're gonna have to go up the side of the house because let's see the front of the house.
It's a big yard.
Yeah, like you'd have to go down the stairs. So it's really not the most ideal place.
In 248th Maple Ridge. That's actually a ways. That's a ways out.
Oh, good old Mission. Let's see what this one has to offer. So here we go. This is something that you could.
That's a big lower floor.
This thing probably has 3 suites, I think. Bedroom? No. That's interesting. So this is the garage, utility room, which both people have access to. You could probably kitchen. That's kind of.
It's a really interesting spot to have the kitchen. But they probably go in the garage, into the utility room.
Well, they can go this way too, but
living area, yeah.
It's basically a 4-bedroom suite downstairs. Oh no, sorry, not. Well, I guess it could be but you'd probably block this off so that the upstairs would have access to this room.
Yeah.
And then you block this door off, and they can only use it for doing laundry once a week or something.
Yeah. And
then you have 3 bedrooms downstairs, the kitchen. And so this could be like perfect for grandparents because like maybe they want to sleep in their own rooms, right? Maybe I've heard that too, where grandparents like
my grandparents did that before my grandfather passed near the end.
And so that could be perfect, right? You have 2 people have their own room, and then you got like a 3rd room for like a, I don't know, arts and crafts or an office or whatever.
Yeah.
So that could work well. And then upstairs, yeah, you have the master, which looks pretty nice as far as size wise. And then you got 2 bedrooms, which one has its, oh, it's not, yeah. This is actually not too bad of a house. Okay, we're going to log in here because this is going to keep coming up. And we have to just sign in here. So, we are good. Okay, so let's have a look at this house here and then move along here because we spent a bit of time on
a lot of time on suites. I want to talk about one that has some potential too.
Well, how about we do that one next?
Yeah, we'll do some potential and what I'm thinking from a potential standpoint. I'm also going to give a real estate group a little bit of a shout out because I did do a video on this property on the one that I'm going to show, and I did give them a reach out there. So
I would say this one.
That's a winner. As I say in my
Right.
property review videos, I think that's a winner for what you're looking for. 1.14 in Mission.
Put it this way: your parents sell their property. Say they have like $800,000 in equity.
Yeah.
They go in with you on this property. Maybe you don't have any money because it's been hard, or you can't afford a home, you get into this home. Parents can even live upstairs for the time being, or downstairs, or whatever. It's like there's quite a bit of space for each room, for each spot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's lots of flexibility there, and then essentially your parents can just do nothing, and you take care of the remaining mortgage and take care of the house and yada yada yada. And
save up money, build up generational wealth.
Yeah.
Or go on some trips with your family. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I like that one.
Okay, I'm gonna remove this.
So I'll just go on realtor.ca. I already know the one that I'm looking for here. And so I have it up in my mapping program that I use for some of the consultations that I do. And we'll keep going.
And anyone watching this later, you want to get a review on a property or anything of that nature, Cole here, that's basically what he does. Reviews about the best case use for that property, what makes sense.
Well, from a maximizing the property's like potential, and also from a feasibility standpoint, and then everything's got to be verified with surveyors, engineers. It's all based on public available information. I just help you sort through it, kind of help you create a plan that works for you and your family. Kind of work through what looks to be allowable, and then we kind of go from there. So we will share the screen, and where we're going to go, I'll start here. So I saw this property came up, it was about a couple weeks ago. It dropped into a really good price point. Now, this is one that is all potential, right? Because it's got the one house on it. It doesn't have a basement suite. So we're looking in Maple Ridge. Leslie Tucker, I'm going to give her a shout out. She's awesome. Amazing to deal with. Cloud Real Estate Group with Leslie Tucker, Larissa Code, I believe. I want to make sure. And then LLA, Larissa's team lead. But all great people. Leslie, awesome. So you know what? If you have was Larissa Code. You got that right. Yes, sir. This is a great property. Great property. Awesome price at just under $1 million. And you can see some of the pictures here. House a little bit older, but in great spot. A great spot. It's a 12,000 square foot lot. Now, no suite here, right? And so the reason, we're talking about a lot of places that have suites, this one doesn't. But as we go to my
what the heck, Cole?
As we go to my mapping system here, we're gonna just take this and we'll go to the next screen. I believe it is, this one. And the reason I like it, so it's actually this property right here.
Oh, you good?
Perspective, it's this one.
Okay.
You see? Sure. Yeah, perfect. It's this one right here. So we're going to kind of talk about it from what can we do? And so you can look at it you can do this with a lot of GIS programs as well. So
what program is this for people who are interested?
And I'm just going to add a little sketch stuff. Yeah. So I'm going to go and just place this. It is this one. Go back. Bang. Right. Tons of space here, and you've got so much yard space because you have a 12,000 square foot lot. This property in Maple Ridge, if you want a project, the potential of this property is out of this world for the new legislation. For people who want to do stuff with SMUA or want to build stuff for their family, who are in a position where they can, because again, we've talked about it in almost every episode that there is a requirement to have the funds if you're going to build a project. And understanding that. And so talk to your financial professionals, talk to your lawyers and your builders, and make sure that you can find a group that'll help you. But you don't have to take this house out to do it. And that's why I love this property, because to take advantage of SMUA, to maximize it, you probably need to take out the house, but you don't need to take out the house, right? In Maple Ridge, you're allowed 2 garden suites on a property if they fit within the setbacks and all the other regulations for urban infill, which we talked about last week. You've got enough space here to do 2 solid garden suites. And you can add parking easy. And you can do it without removing this, right? You can do a 1,500 square foot house right back here. Take out these trees, place it right around here, right? You could take the house out and do 4 1,500 square foot homes, right? Now,
I like the sounds of that.
If somebody wanted to do that, you verify that information with the city. I have looked at this property already. I have done some research on it, which is why I'm confident in talking about it. You could create a plan with the city of Maple Ridge.
I just had a thought here. Maybe you've thought of it too, but say you build the one there in the corner there, but you have a plan where it's like 5 years down the road, we're going to knock this house down, or 10, 20 years down the road, we're going to knock this house down.
Yeah.
We're building the first one so that, we have extra income coming in. We have grandpa or whoever wants to come live with you guys.
Yeah.
And then down the road, you demo the other one, and then you build the 3 more, and then you can, maybe subdivide or stratify or whatever.
Absolutely. It's
kind of,
you don't have to do it all at once. Now that's a different strata plan, right? Once you get into that, because the 3 are going to be new. So there'll be new stratas, but the one that you'd be living in is going to have to be phased in. So there are just some hurdles that you might have to overcome with the city of Maple Ridge and talk to them about it. And there might be some additional fees on the stratification, if that is the way that somebody goes, right?
Yeah.
But like you bring that up, Richard, yes, absolutely. You could live in the main house. You could build your house in the back. You could move into that, move people in here for a little bit while you finish the plan for the other 3, do the groundwork for the other 3, and then you could build them. Like that, you don't have to do it all at once, right? And so again, if you want more information on this one, you reach out to Richard or I. We can help you as the buyer's agents. If you've got an agent, big shout out there. Reach out to Leslie Tucker, Cloud Real Estate Group. My mentor would probably be like, Cole, don't do that, but I like them. And so they get a shout out today.
Yeah.
And this is one that we talk about. We talked about finding properties that have suites on them already, or garden suites, and then we'll talk about the ones where you can do a lot with. Like, 'cause I didn't even talk about the fact that you could do 2 duplexes here. Duplex. You could do an attached fourplex if you want. You could do the garden suite like here and here. You could do just a house here. You could do just a garden suite. If you don't need to go up to 4, you don't need to go to 3. You could just go to 2.
No, you need to go with maximum, buddy. Maximum.
If you want to maximize it, bang, 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 bang. Road in the middle.
What's the address of this place?
12451 203rd Street.
12451
203rd Street.
203rd Street, Maple Ridge. I just want to see what this thing looks like in the front. Street view, this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the garbage truck right here.
Oh, well. So the house is, it's a little older. It is an older house. They took care of it. But it is an older house. But it's like this.
But that's okay. Like, if the plan is like, hey, let's do exactly what we just talked about, I think it's actually genius, because you don't want to pay a whole bunch of extra money for a house that you're going to tear down in 5 to 10 years anyways. No. You want one that's just enough livable, maybe ideally a little bit more than just livable. Because
this one I think is more than just enough livable.
And so it's brilliant.
This one is like I saw it come through into a price range that I think is fair, right? And that's, you have to verify with your real estate professionals, verify with Richard if he's your agent. You can verify with me there, and I can do some comparables. But this one is a winner, and I don't mind throwing it out there for people and for clients to take a look at this one for SMUA. This one, great area too, like West Maple Ridge. This is a northwest Maple Ridge. This is a nice area too. Like, this is a winner. I'm a little shocked that this one is still here, quite frank. Just from a SMUA perspective, from a long-term multi-gen or income producing property, like, I love this one. This is one that I, as I grow in my career, right? If I start to get into a position where I can start doing some sort of stuff and something like this pops up, I'm making some phone calls, like, I love this one. And so, yeah, that's kind of they get some free marketing there, but they get some free marketing because it's a perfect example as to what can be done. And so I'll stop sharing my screen here as we kind of move along, and we'll talk about some other stuff. We'll move on here to, really, really quick, I think, before we get into maybe some like quick fire Q&A or some myth busting, is like, where can you find these? And everywhere.
Where can you find
these? Everywhere. The answer is everywhere. Like, beforehand, probably not, but the answer is everywhere.
Well, you just got to know what to look for. And I think, yeah, the types of properties we were quickly talking about there, houses with suites, well, those are everywhere. You just got to like filter for those. Coach homes, you can filter for those too. I think the hardest one is just the multiplex opportunities, because it's just so new, right? The duplex is pretty straightforward. Like, now again, it's going to be a little bit different if you're a person that's like wants to have a project and, exactly what we're talking about there, put a house in the back, live in there, down with the front, like that gets a little bit more creative, a little bit more, I guess, work you need to do up front. But something I've always thought about doing, and this is just kind of off the cuff here, is like having a site or having something where like, and I guess the Abbotsford zoning map has it there, but like knowing exactly where you can and cannot build these multiplexes, or like, it's almost like you have like BC assessments kind of style, and then you have like all the properties in green. You can do what this is, and so essentially, then you could like go knock on these people's doors and just be like, "Hey, you want to sell your house?" Or like, because like that's where the real opportunities are going to come. Because like everybody, as we get more familiarized with like, the SHMU, or the small scale multi-unit housing initiative, people are going to know their stuff, or get to become more knowledgeable.
I mean, will they? And that's a great question to follow up with, Richard. Is we want to know our stuff. We want to know our stuff. How many people are going to know their stuff on this? Well,
they'll sell themselves as like, oh, I have a developer, I got connections, and it's like
who's gonna, because I've talked to other realtors, who said that they don't want to do the work into learning this sort of stuff. That's fine. If they want to specialize in the negotiating and the selling of, stuff that's already there, condos, townhomes, single detached lot, good for them. That's not a problem. If they're good at it, fine.
Yeah.
But how many people are actually going to like think about this? Like, I'm going to pump my own tires, right? You gave yourself a little bit of a thing there with your awesome website. And it is. So people should check it out. Richard, how many other realtors do you know that can navigate zoning bylaws and feasibility?
It's like
I know one. I know one other realtor who really knows his stuff that I was introduced to. back when I really didn't know my stuff, like early when I was really doing the research into this, and he knew his stuff. Shout out to Bill Leitler and his group.
Hey, just a quick interjection here.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend, Bill Leitler was watching our stream here just a second ago.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
No, he wasn't.
I missed his comment. Otherwise, Bill, I would have said something. Bill.
No. Oh my goodness. No, Bill, he knows, man. He knows his stuff. He knew his stuff more than I knew my stuff. And I wanted to get to a level where he's at. That's why I keep doing the research.
No, he's
because I
he's the legend out in Vancouver.
And I felt like a rookie. I felt like I needed to do some more rookie laps on the sheet.
So Bill, if you're still watching, you're watching this later. It's nice to see that you're tuned in here, and I know you got some courses on multiplex stuff, and I think it's within the Fraser Valley and Vancouver board. So it's funny that he came on, and because I will be joining one of his seminars there.
Yeah,
just tuning in because he's a wealth of knowledge, and he's a go-getter, and he knows his stuff. So Bill, sorry I missed you there, buddy.
We were just too in it. We're too locked in, Richard. We were too locked in to the grind, to going into it. But yeah, Bill knows his stuff. But to shout us out a little bit more, I don't know many others who are asking these questions, who are trying to figure out what people can do at this point in time. And maybe we're the guys that get this kickstarted for agents in the Fraser Valley, and I'd be honored, right, if that is something that we could help with for other agents, for not common new, but agents just getting started, or agents that want to level up. I would love that. I'd love to be something that people can look to. But yeah, no, I'm going to give us a shout out. I think that we are doing the work and putting in time to know what we're doing. And I think that's what, that's why I love it so much. I like doing this stuff. This is creating solutions or maximizing potential. That's fun. I really do enjoy it. And so it's why I give us a little bit of a shout out, and why I've been so excited to do this show with you and work with some other people, is because I like talking about it. This is fun to me, and I'm really happy to be able to do it and to go through the process and learn more with you. Right? That's a little shout out there. So.
If you ain't learning something new each day, why even get out of bed?
Well, I do because I have a kid.
Well, I'm sure you learned something.
Yeah, he learned how to climb stairs. So I learned how to panic every time he takes a step up the stairs. That was yesterday. There's a lot of stairs in this townhouse, and it's not baby-proofed. And I find out that my wife's like, "Oh yeah, he climbs now." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
4 steps up. I'm like, "Uh-oh." So
guy's a monkey. He's ripping around.
Oh, he's so fast, Richard. I'm so.
Okay, so what else we need to talk about here? We
to wrap up. I think there are just a couple myth buster or quick fire Q&As that I think we talk about here, and then we wrap this up. Let you get on with your long weekend. And so one that I got in a video that I got was, is everywhere going to become multiplex housing? 4plexes or 6plex?
That is a concern a lot of people have.
And the answer to that is no. The small scale multi-unit housing stuff does not apply everywhere. So you will have neighborhoods that are going to remain single detached, or single detached with a garden suite, depending on the zoning. And that's it. And they will remain like that. And what I think is going to happen is that you're going to have the urban areas that are within their boundaries are going to become a little bit more densified, and the more rural areas are going to transform into single detached areas like we've seen. I think that's what's going to end up happening. I think you're going to see a little bit of a push outward for those types of neighborhoods
Mm-hmm.
into, that might have been maybe a little bit more rural farming or rural areas that weren't being developed. You're going to start to see those are going to turn into what you see a lot now, into the single detached. And the urban areas, you're going to start to see some people that are going to try and change their single detached into townhomes or multiplexes. Is my thought long term when this really picks up. I think that's kind of what you'll see. Now, I could make the argument, and I know people have, infrastructure is going to need to improve. You're going to need to improve schools. You're going to need to improve hospitals. There's if you're going to do this right, it's going to be a long-term process to get things to where they need to be for everything to be smooth. But that's kind of where I see things going. Richard, you probably talked to more people. What's your take on that?
Yeah, man, I think people are just scared because they just don't know. They don't know what's coming. They don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of to the point of the client here that we're putting an offer on this property. It's like they just want to know what's the worst case possibility, right, of a development property. And it's like, well, we don't know for sure. We're never truly going to know what can happen. But you just paint a picture of like what it could be.
Yeah.
Hey, you could have this. Hey, you could have that. And like, yeah, it's our job to know what it could be. But if someone tells you that they know what's going to happen, they're lying. No one knows. And
you don't know until you don't know until you break ground, is what builders have told me.
Totally.
And so talk to builders, because no job is perfect.
No,
it's just not. Right.
And so it's just like, yeah, educate yourself. And it's really all you can do. Educate yourself, whether that's learning from people like us or doing your own digging, right?
Oh, they're licensed professionals, right? We're not surveyors. We're not engineers. I am not an RPP. I'm not a builder. Richard's not a builder. So you'll take the concepts that we talk about and we can help guide you, right? Mm-hmm. A real estate agent guides people through the purchasing or selling process and helps them, right? Richard, am I correct in that assessment?
100%.
We help guide, we help go through the transaction. Our expertise is in the transaction and a lot of general points of real estate. Helping guide you is referring you to the right professionals for your problems. And Richard and I can help with that. We've got great resources. And that's where, you won't learn everything just from us. You're going to learn everything from people that we know. And that's how we're going to be able to help guide you through the process, is having, I can come up with a concept plan for you that you can then verify. Richard can, with his expertise, can help you find a multi-gen property that he can then get you to qualify people. Maybe it's myself for property consultation, then to a builder, then to a surveyor, so on and so forth. These are the types of things that we excel at helping people at, because we know what questions that we want to ask. That's the big one. It's not even just like, hey, I know zoning, and so I'm going to tell you. It's also when we get to a situation where you ask a question, right, that you wouldn't know how to ask a city, or you ask it for a general point, I can then formulate that and be like, okay, I'm going to ask this question as part of the process to figure out what we can do. Mm-hmm. Get it in writing, verify it for you, and then we'll go to a professional to double verify, right? And so that's where we can really help. And so, I just wanted to clarify that. And Richard, you've clarified some stuff. What's a question here? We don't have a ton of time. We've got another hour in the books. The car is almost parked. But what's one more thing that you've heard, Richard, before we wrap up today?
What have I heard? It's a great question. I think just going back to the fact that, as we talk more about this, people just don't know this even exists. And so if you have people that are interested, then, shoot them our way. Like we can, because that's the biggest thing is like, yes, we're not the, we don't know it all, but we know enough to like save you tons of time, tons of maybe stress or resources. Cause like the age old thing is time is money. And like, if, you know, we may have all the answers or maybe we don't have the answers, but essentially we can tune them to the right person, or we know the answers because we've been living in it or doing it. And so then save you a bunch of time and money. That's all I got to say.
It's always got, you know what, we'll wrap it up here a whopping 2 minutes early. Thank you everybody who tuned in. I had a couple people tune in on my Instagram. Richard, sounds like you had quite a few that tuned in on your side. You know, we talked about the property types a little bit more. So, you know, homes that have suites in them, illegal or legal. We talked about properties, garden suites, coach houses, duplexes, and we touched on one that has almost unlimited potential due to SMA. And then we talked about some questions, and we talked about some people that we know. I think the episode plans as we move forward, you know, we do a lot of things live. We also do a lot of things during the lead up the week of, planning wise. So episode 4, the only thing that we're really certain is that it's going to be Saturday. It's going to be next week. It's going to be 8 to 9 a.m. It's going to be on our Instagrams, and it's going to be on one other place for right now. You can catch some of the highlights on YouTube that are being popped up there, as well as on our social media channels. And then if you ever got any questions, you don't have to wait. Reach out to either one of us, shoot us a DM. We're more than happy to help out, answer some questions. And if you need an agent, help buy or sell property, we've got 2 pretty good ones here. Richard and Clark Berry at the Valley Life Real Estate team, and then myself, Cole Marton. You've got a lot of great options to kind of help find the best place for you. So thanks everybody for tuning in. On behalf of Richard, I'm Cole, and we'll see you guys next week on the next episode of the Multi-Gen Blueprint.
Adios.